Happy Wednesday, everybody. Jeff Zahler, broker of Zahler Properties, episode 37 of ZPLive, coming to you from Summerlin. Wanted to do something a little bit different today. We've been seeing a lot of online commercials for some companies out there that are willing to buy your house and pay for it in cash and give you all those free choices to when to move and everything and like that, and not have to put your house on the market. So there's some really good options out there. I don't want to name too many names, but a couple of the big companies, and I'm not going to talk about the case study, but a couple of the big companies you've heard of are OfferPad or Open Door, and now the big one obviously is Zillow is now going to get into this space as well. So wanted to talk to you about that. There are some really positives about these companies. They offer you, money for your house right away. You don't have to put it on the market. You don't have to worry about showings. You can close on your schedule, what have you. That's all really, really great. But when push comes to shove, what are these companies doing with your house? They're going to turn around and put it back on the market. So a home is what that market is willing to pay for it. So obviously you're going to get a lower offer. So we decided this week that we were going to do a case study. So what we did was we took an address. It's actually going to be, it's actually my address. I filled out all the relevant information on one of the companies. I'm not going to name the name, but I filled out all the information on one of the companies, including uploading pictures and everything. I did it the right way. And then we got an offer from them. And we'll talk about that. But then I also asked two agents, independent of myself, so we all feel that our houses are worth more than what that they probably are. But I had two agents run kind of comps for me. So I've got that information here as well. So want to kind of just break it out and talk about it. Obviously, every house is different and every situation is different. If you need a quick sale, like very quick, these are really good options. But in our Las Vegas market, what we're seeing currently, as everybody knows, is an extremely hot market anyway, where homes are flying off the shelves in single-digit days and getting multiple offers and everything. So without further ado, so about a week ago, I reached out to one of the companies and asked for an offer. Put all my information in, as I said, and was really surprised and happy with the way they asked the questions. They asked some really important questions, I thought, so it was thorough, which is great. So I'm not slamming anything. I'm just going to talk about the pros and cons. So they were really thorough. They even asked me to upload pictures to the site. That way they can kind of take a look at the home. Asked if there was any deferred maintenance. Asked if there were any upgrades. So they said within 24 hours, but I think within about 12 hours we received an offer on our home. The offer was for $330,000 even, which is great. What we want to then jump into is, what does that really mean? Does that mean there's a $330,000 check to us coming if we said yes? No. So this company has a 7.5% fee on that you subtract from that number. So what that would gross us, if you will, was $305,250. Now again, that doesn't sound bad, commissions, all that stuff, but what that number doesn't include, and this is what they actually called me the next day to see how I was interested in the offer, and that number actually doesn't include additional closing costs on what is normally customary in your market. So for this exercise and for it being a seller, I decided to add about 1.5% to all the numbers. That way it's even. But so if you take that number out, which this company does not talk about, so you see an offer, you do see 7.5% as a service fee, they are not including all your closing costs, which could be, like I said, about 1.5%. So that $330,000 net number that they provided me, or a gross number that they provided me, actually equates to only about $300,671, taking into consideration the 7.5% plus the 1.5% closing costs that we're using as estimation. So realistically, you're looking at about a 9% fee, not 7.5%, and definitely not the offer that they give. So what do you get with that? You get quick closing on your schedule if you'd like. You get no worry about appraisal, no showings, all that fun stuff, right? So let's remember that number. We'll call it $300,671. So just over $300,000. As I said, I actually reached out to 2 agents. Knowing what I know, I felt that number, that $330,000, was obviously a little bit low. But again, I didn't want to comp my house and use it as a comparison because it's my house. I'm going to feel like my house is worth more than maybe it is. But what I did do is I said, reach out to 2 other agents, gave them the exact same specifics of the house, and just said, hey, what would you list this house for, and what do you think it would sell for? So the first agent, mind you, we got a $330,000 offer pad, or sorry, I used the name. We got a $330,000 offer from one of the companies. Agent number 1 said, Jeff, I would list your house for $360,000, expecting to sell it for about $355,000. He said we'd probably be pushing the limit a little bit, but he would expect getting an offer between 15 and 20 days or so, and then another 30 to 45 days for closing. So he believed that within 60 days, charging a 6% commission is the number that he discussed with me. And again, remember, commission is per agreement, and it's a negotiation. That with a 6% commission, my $355 would be $333,700, which is already more than what the online company offered as our offer, less that 1.5% closing cost. That agent figured we would net about $328,695 within about 60 days. So that's about $28,000 more than the online company offered. It is 60 days versus basically ASAP. There is the potential for an appraisal and a home inspection, all that stuff. But even taking that into consideration, that's a pretty significant difference. Agent 2 was a little bit more conservative, but very similar. Agent 2 said that they would want to list the house for $355 and probably sell it around $350. So it's a little bit less, but that agent actually said that they would do it for 5.5%. So that 5.5% of $350 gets to about $330,750, in line with the first agent, and still about $25,000 more than the online company. Reducing the closing cost of 1.5, they said we could figure to net just under $326,000. $325,788 was the number with the math we used in the assumptions we used. So it's a little bit less than agent 1, still about $25,000 more than the online company. But what this agent said is they expect probably multiple offers within the first couple days, and they said they could probably have it closed out within 35, 40 days. So again, potential for, unless it's a cash deal, we still would have a potential for an appraisal potential issue. There's going to be a buyer that's probably going to be asking for some home inspection repairs, that kind of stuff. But if you take a look at these numbers, you're looking at 328, almost 329, 326, and 300. So there's a substantial difference here, at least in terms of this one house in particular. Now, in a hot market like we're in, and you have the ability to spend 30 or 60 days or so, it's definitely worthwhile if you're thinking about selling your house to, at least if you're going to go down that road of one of those online companies, to have an agent or a professional in your local market really give you a comparison. That way you can look at the numbers together. The other thing to think about is all these online companies are going to offer a fee, but on top of that, there are going to be closing costs. So there are, I don't want to say hidden fees, but there are other fees that are on top of what they are disclosing right up front. Now, if you need to get out of town quickly, if you're buying a home and it's subject to selling your property and you're okay with not taking as much, there are some great bonuses to these online companies. I'm not going to lie. But if you think about it, these online companies are in the business of buying your property and turning around and selling. So unless they think the house is worth way more than what they're going to sell it to you for, even with the service fee, they have to make some kind of money. I'm going to use this example, $330. They would probably turn around and put my house on the market for that $350 to $360 number. So if you need the money right away, they're great. If you are in a position where you can wait 30, 60 days and your home is priced under $500,000 in this market, and you're okay with some showings and you are pretty sure the house will appraise at least in that range, and you know there's not going to be that many inspection repairs, it's really something you should probably take a look at and discuss with an agent. So that's it for this week. Pretty interesting. I was expecting it to be close, and it was close, at least with the number, but between the hidden fees, of the closing costs that they don't mention, the transaction fee that's higher than commissions. If you think about it, it is higher than commissions. And then that lower number, all three of those add up to what's looking like a $25,000 to $28,000 difference between using an online company and going the traditional way, and even paying traditional closing costs and commissions that are out there. So if you have any questions or would like to talk to us about this, 702-758-4699. Shoot me an email at info@ZahlerProperties.com. Message us here, there, and anywhere, and we can talk to you about how our services may be able to beat or far exceed one of these online offer companies. Have a great day. Until next week, Jeff Zahler signing off from Zahler Properties. Take care.